What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So in this video, we're going to be talking a little bit about AMC ahead of its earnings report after hours tomorrow. We're going to be doing a little bit of the TA on AMC, showing you exactly what the levels are that you need to be watching going into tomorrow and potentially after we get the earnings report and the conference call after the close of the market trading hours tomorrow. Now, in addition to this, we also have to talk a little bit about the Ortex data. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an insight into the max pain. Again, it's not the end all be all, but it is an important data point to keep a lookout for. And I know a lot of you guys are interested to see exactly what that is. Now, at the end of the video, we're going to be talking a little bit more about the situation with JP Morgan that we've recently been talking about on the channel with their manipulation of the precious metals market. There's been some new information coming out about this, and honestly, it's not surprising at all that these large banking institutions have not only done this, but gotten away with it for this many years. So again, guys, before we get into all of that information, if you wouldn't mind going down, hitting that like button on the video, helps out a whole lot with the algorithms. Leave a comment down below if you're excited for AMC's earnings tomorrow, and subscribe if you guys do want some more videos like this. But let's get right into it here. Looking at the chart on the 4-hour time frame, again, AMC is looking really good. Now, what I want to kind of point out to you guys is that just because this 4-hour time frame on the technicals is looking really good, we are headed into tomorrow and we are going to be getting AMC's earnings. And as you guys know, earnings are a complete coin flip. So whatever comes out at this event tomorrow is really going to trump whatever technical indicators that we are seeing. Can we then come up if we end up selling off on earnings, if we kind of rim what we like to call this 13 EMA here? Yes, absolutely. But again, I would be very careful if you guys are holding options, any call options going into earnings. It's going to be very volatile, and you got to be very careful of that implied volatility crush after the event goes on. Now, looking at this chart right here, we're going to be having this resistance level at about 1837. That's kind of what we've been looking at over the last few days. We came down to this 200 EMA, we crossed down, crossed back up, and we went on a nice little bit of a run, and we are seeing this little cup and handle on this 4-hour time frame. The other thing that I want to bring you guys towards over here is something that we haven't really seen a whole lot of, is this 200 EMA on the weekly time frame. So that's going to be a very key resistance level here at $18.17 going into tomorrow. But again, we really have to wait and see what's going to happen on earnings, and we're going to go over what you guys need to look for in a couple of minutes as well. The daily time frame is looking pretty interesting as well. We are hunting that 200 EMA on the daily, which is at about 1917. So about $1 higher than what the weekly 200 EMA is at this time. Now, again, if you guys do want to learn a little bit more about this strategy and actually trade 1348 properly and get access to all of those 55 private live streams every single month, the algorithms that we have, Pythagoras, the new one, is up like 24% in the first 15 trading days that we've been testing them out on live market data. So again, we have a whole lot to offer you guys. If you guys are interested, check out that link down below. But coming over and taking a look at the Ortex data very quickly, let me refresh this super quick. 18.78% estimated short interest on AMC. We've got 135.48 million shares on loan. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. Nothing too crazy with the cost to borrow. The max is at 16.4, and the average is sitting right around 9.39%. Now, coming over to, let's do max pain first, just kind of get this out of the way. Max pain going into the end of the week is going to be $15 a share. That's the price where the market makers are going to make the most amount of money. Doesn't necessarily mean we're going to finish there, but that's kind of what we're looking at going into the end of the week. Now, coming over here, taking a look at what we have going forward into AMC's earnings, we have this Yahoo Finance article right here. For the quarter to be reported, the Zacks consensus estimate for loss per share has widened to 26 cents over the past 30 days from 22 cents a share. In the prior year quarter, the company had reported an adjusted loss per share of 71 cents. The consensus mark for revenues is pegged at 1.12 billion compared with the year ago reported figure of 447 million. Factors to note, the company's second quarter 2022 results are likely to have benefited from a sharp increase in the global attendance and average ticket pricing. That's going to be be really important because as we start to see foot traffic come really back into AMC over the next couple of quarters, well, if the average ticket pricing and the average dollar amount that consumers are actually spending at an AMC theaters goes up, well, that's going to generate a lot more revenue for the company as a whole. Now, however, AMC Entertainment is making comprehensive health and sanitation programs, which include enhanced cleaning procedures and upgraded air filtration efforts, basically making sure everybody's going to be staying safe. So again, these are kind of the estimates here and some of the key things that you guys need to be looking for going into the earnings call after hours tomorrow. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about what has kind of been going on with this JP Morgan situation, because again, these financial institutions, these large financial institutions are notorious for manipulating some of these markets, specifically the precious metals market. When we come over here and take a look at this article, JP Morgan's manipulative metals desk consistently made hundreds of millions in profits every year from 2008 to 2018. Former head of precious metals at JP Morgan, Michael Nowak, is currently on trial with colleagues Greg Smith and Jeffrey Rufo in Chicago regarding whether or not they conspired to manipulate gold and silver markets. While this may not be news to many Zero Hedge readers, some of the inner workings of JP Morgan's metals desk, as detailed in a new Bloomberg report, may be. It was revealed in court that the bank's annual profits from its metals desks, which usually aren't broken out in the bank's earnings reports, made astonishingly consistent annual profits between 109 million and 234 million a year between 2008 and 2018. These profits came mostly trading in these financial markets, Bloomberg noted, but trading and transporting metals also made the bank about $30 million per year on average. In 2020, in the midst of the pandemic, the bank made $1 billion from precious metals due to unprecedented arbitrage opportunities. So when you look at kind of this data and the sheer amount of money that these banks were able to make every single year by supposedly manipulating these precious metals markets, what is to say that a lot of these institutions are not doing this in the equities market, in the bond market, in some real estate products? Well, most likely it is. It's just very hard for these institutions to get caught. And not only is it hard for them to get caught, well, it takes so much time for these regulatory institutions to actually build a case. As you guys can see here, they were making all of this money between 2008 and 2018. That's a decade. So kind of bringing this back to what a lot of people like to say and think about what's going on with kind of AMC right here. The SEC is not going to come and save anybody. FINRA's not going to come and save anybody. These new rules and regulations aren't necessarily going to benefit us in the short term, but more so the long term, after all of these regulations get put in place, so we don't see things like this happen ever again. So what the SEC and a lot of these regulatory institutions' job is to do is really figure out what to do after these events actually take place. So again, I wouldn't really hold your breath on anything that the SEC is actually trying to do, but that is kind of going to wrap up this update on AMC, the earnings report, the technicals, and the situation with JP Morgan. If you guys did enjoy the information and analysis that I provided for you in this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button. It costs you nothing to do it, but it really helps us out a whole lot in getting this information out to as many people who want to learn. So that's going to wrap it up for this one, guys. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video this evening. Peace.